What's happening, guys? Monday here on Wake Up Barstool. We got Brandon Walker, Dave Portnoy on the show today, and we got the football G-Spot with Greg Olsen and Coach Jon Gruden. Coach Gruden will also bring us his shred line. We've got a huge weekend of college football to recap and a preview with Rivalry Week. Also, Week 12 of the NFL was awesome, and it all starts now. Wake Up Barstool here on FS1. Happy Monday, everybody. Hope everybody had a wonderful weekend. T-Bob Baby, our Brandon Walker. We got Meek Fell, Liam Blutman in studio. We got Dave joining live from the West Coast. Been watching the Ponies all weekend. He's also watching his Patriots win. And we got college football rivalry week. Guys, how's everybody feeling? Egg Bowl is here.
Egg Bowl, yeah.
Michigan, Ohio State is here. The two most important games of the weekend, both of equal importance, certainly for the national landscape. How are we feeling, guys?
Yeah, it's the biggest rivalry in college football, and Michigan, Ohio State this weekend as well. It's going to be huge. It's going to be gigantic.
Dave, what's up, man? How are you kicking off your Ohio State hate week?
Well, let's start with this. The team. Obviously, Michigan quote can also be applied to the fact it is 5:01 a.m. where I am right now. I watched Miss Peaches. That's how early it is. I watched Miss Watermelon at Del Mar yesterday. Great effort. I am now in Sonoma Valley. This show for me today, and I don't know if I'm going to freeze. I don't know if it looks like a hostage. This could also be a relationship breaker because I did not realize I'd be in a single hotel room. So my girlfriend's trying to sleep. We're up at 4:30 a.m., but it's the team. It's Michigan week, team player. There is no I in team. I'm glad to be up at 5 a.m. part of the show.
The dynamic camera movement from the stage setting on the app, saying the team with the slow zooms is excellent. It is all about the team. Thank you for waking up early here. Now, let's get...
By the way, to answer your question, it's another victory weekend. Michigan absolutely pulverizes Maryland. Now, collision course with Ohio State. We win. We're in the playoffs. Ohio State's already trying to devalue the game. I did put a tweet out that said, honestly, this is just for Ohio fans only. I want to know before we play this game, do you care about this game? Because Ohio State is obviously in the playoffs no matter what, right? So what are we just going to, this is this new technology, the thing just moves around like I'm on a ship.
During the commercial break,
I don't want the thing moving around like I'm on a ship. Sometimes technology out-technologies themselves. I'm not moving around right now. Why is this moving around?
I can during the commercial break.
I'd rather this stay steady for all our millions of fans watching on FS1 this morning. I'm not moving around. The camera's moving around. But I want to know, I stopped moving around camera. Stop doing that. Why is that doing that? Is that a setting?
It's an automatic setting. Do you see? I can tell you during the commercial break, there's a little green button kind of the top right there. I think it's called like
green button at the top. I see it. I see green button.
Click that.
Custom streaming service.
It might be called like center stage or something. The camera setting. I'll have to.
Shows the best,
I'll tell you what, I can see my girlfriend moving. You don't have to come. She doesn't want to be on camera. I'll figure out at the break, but I don't like feeling like I'm on a ship. All right? This is gonna stop. Back to the Ohio State rant for a minute. This thing's really aggravating. I'm not gonna look. But Ohio State, I tweeted out, tell me before we play this game, do you care? Do you care about this game? Because last year, if you recall, we had Fat Ev, Fat Boy, we had Ohio Tate after the game. They were saying, fire Ryan Day instantly. This is the worst day of my life. I want to die. We'll never get over this. I'll never recover. Then Ohio State goes on a cute little run, and suddenly it's like the game never happened. Oh, who cares? Game doesn't matter. Playoffs. So before I go into this, I need to know from Ohio State, does the game matter or not? Tell me before we beat you. If this is just another game, then fine. It's just another game. You guys are in the playoffs. You earned that right. But tell me before, because I used to think this game meant something before Ryan Day and the cowards in Ohio tried to devalue the game. I'll probably get beeped for saying cowards. I'm sorry, Ohio State administration. I won't say that anymore. The soft people at Ohio State, does the game matter? Are they going to cry like they did last year? That's all I want to know before we get into this week. Does the game matter?
It's a fascinating game, though, T-Bow. He's doing his thing. And remember, last year, this guy went into the game.
Doing my thing.
And this guy went into the game, and he acted like it didn't matter. He acted like this game doesn't matter this year. We're terrible.
I didn't do
You're
that.
good. You said it. You said it on our show. And then you did the gimmick where you broke your phone in your pool or something.
I did break that phone. That phone broke.
And halfway in the second quarter, you realized, oh my goodness, we have a chance. So you had to put things together and then come back and actually do it. You tried to cower out of that game last year, but
are you saying that I jumped into my pool before the game with an old phone that was already broken, and then said, "Oh, gee, my phone's broken. I won't be around for the game." And then suddenly I found my phone when we took command.
I'm saying,
is that what you're alleging? Is that what you're alleging, Brandon Walker?
That's a distinct possibility. That is a distinct possibility.
Don't make fun of broken phones.
I'm saying the man made a plan to miss the game last year, and then he was like, oh my God, we're in this game. Let me come save the day. And that's exactly what happened. But he won the game, and that's all that matters. And now this year, it's fascinating because Ohio State hasn't been tested in, 3 months now?
Yeah.
And if Michigan pulls them into deep water in the first quarter, I'm not sure how they're going to react.
I know how they're going to react. I know that how do I phrase this? If this game goes deep into the third quarter, fourth quarter, it's close. We're winning. I got to say this carefully because I know people are listening. It will be a reaction that people will call weak, nervous, and they may fold like a chair. How's that? How's that for what's going to happen? I guarantee that's what's going to happen. But again, I need the Ohio State people to tell me, they've realized they cannot beat the maize and blue. It's their kryptonite. Everybody has it. Everybody has a cross their bear. This is it for Ohio State. They're weaklings. They don't like playing us. They cry when we plant the flag. I don't want to see them doing that look Ryan Day had after we beat him last year. That looks like the end of a horror movie when your family's just been absolutely eviscerated. Like he didn't know what to do. So we know what's going to happen if it's close. I'm not even getting there, Walker. I'm not asking the question on what's going to happen if we take it in deep water because I know what's going to happen. We're going to see it year after year after year after year. And by the way, those years, that's not exaggeration. That's year after year after year after year. The question is, are they going to say it doesn't matter? That's what I want to know. I'm a fan. I talk. I like shooting arrows, going back and forth with the boys, having a little yuck. We catch that big fish, Big Ev. You hook him, you reel him in. He's one of those tough fish because he weighs 400 pounds, but you're reeling the big fish. I just want to know, are they going to say it doesn't matter? Because they're in the playoffs. They earn that right. Does this game matter for Ohio? Or is this just like, should you just sit your guys? Stay healthy. Do that if you want. Coward's way out.
So you're standing by your urination take from a couple weeks ago then?
Yes, but I think that's a graphic image that I don't like.
Okay, fair enough. We're not endorsing it then anymore.
So we'll say they'll fold like a chair and hopefully that doesn't offend.
What about what about if the shoe's on the other foot here? What if this is the year where Ohio State finally gets it done? Julian Say and everybody playing perfect football. What if they come out and piece up Michigan?
I will be the first one in line to say congratulations, shake your hand. You will not see me crying. I will say I don't like this team, this school, but congratulations. Let's shake hands. You beat me, and I'll go back to the drawing board. We won't be in the playoffs. I won't. Depends the score. If we get drilled, we really got to look in the mirror. But if we play these guys tough and lose at the end, by the way, this is like saying, what if aliens invade tomorrow? I'm just doing good TV.
Yeah, it's a good hypothetical.
This is what we call good TV in show business. But if by chance aliens invade, Ohio State beats Michigan, I will be a Michigan man about it, which is take it on the chin, say good game, get back in the lab, and figure out what you're going to do next year. But the team's hot. Michigan's hot. They played their best full game last week. Underwood's looked the best he's looked last week. Yeah. This Marsh receiver has come out of nowhere the last 2 weeks, giving us a 1-2 punch. McCauley, Marsh. I like the running backs, even though we're a little banged up. I like this kid right here. It's a good cut. He's got one of the weirdest names, Kuzdza. I can't pronounce it. But it eats pretty good. So listen, it's all out there. I know this. We're Michigan and they're not. And that's been enough the last 4 years. If I didn't think they really were going to win last year, and if we're doing a truth serum, I didn't think we'd beat them last year. I think we're going to beat them this year. It's in Ann Arbor. We're playing good football. They're afraid of us. We got all those factors in our favor.
So from a Michigan man to a Mississippi man, Brandon, Egg Bowl. Lane Kiffin's fate still up in the air, saying it's going to be decided post-Egg Bowl.
What? When people turn the channel.
He's fine.
No.
It's fine. Talk to me.
Yeah. How? Okay. I guess my question would be this. Where are you confident?
Hold on. It's one of the most watched. It's going to be one of the most watched storylines all week. Where's Lane Kiffin going to go? What's he going to do after they lose to Mississippi State? Are they going to get to the playoff at 10-2 after losing to Mississippi State? It's one of the most watched things in college football this week.
Yeah, Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin is story. Mississippi State terrific.
Ole Miss -7 at Mississippi State
and going down.
The first question will be about Lane Kiffin. Does the outcome of this game have any impact on Lane's decision?
He knows where he's going. He knows where he's going right now. He knows if he's leaving. He knows if he's staying. I personally think it's a big charade. I think it's all a big thing to make Lane Kiffin look like the conquering hero when he wins the Egg Bowl, and on Saturday they say, "Hey, guess what? He's staying. We're the best place ever." And that's what they're going to do. I think it's a big charade. I think it's a big dog and pony show, and that's what's going to happen. However, if he is leaving,
this is so insulting. This is something I wouldn't be able to take as a fan of a rival. If I was in a rivalry game and all anybody is asking me about is Ohio State and like nothing about Michigan.
That has happened. That's happened 5 times.
That would absolutely infuriate. I'm having your back here, Brandon. I'm saying it would infuriate me to no end to be talking about my big game, and nobody wants to talk about my team. They just want to talk about Ole Miss and Lane Kiffin, and Brandon Walker's like the expert on Ole Miss, his rival. That would bother me. Continue.
You just spent 15 minutes talking about Ohio State. Okay, real quick. If Lane Kiffin is leaving, and if Ole Miss knows he is leaving, how do they let him coach that game? And this is an if. This is a hypothetical. If he is leaving, if he is going to LSU, if he is going to Florida, and if he is, they know.
I would say this. I would say it's representative of the leverage that Kiffin has, and that at the end of the day, they still believe their best chance to win the game is with him at the helm.
Okay.
Running the game day operation.
You don't think he can do both? You don't think he can finish this season out, make a run at a national title, and then leave after?
He wants to. Everything I've heard
You're a Michigan man. Do you not remember the most the iconic example of this ever happening?
Basketball. Yeah, basketball.
I mean, basketball and football, but it's still a sport. A coach is leaving, and you're either with us or you're against us. And they said they showed him the door, and they brought Steve Fisher in. They won a national title. I think that's.
I'd say today's era of NIL is a different era in that he may be leaving, and half that team, if he wants, can come right with him.
Yeah, I think too. What I've heard is that, and this is where Lane's leverage comes from, is he wants to coach through the playoff, regardless of what he's going to do. But obviously, Ole Miss, like to Brandon's point, they find that situation to be a bit untenable. So if he is indeed leaving, he's putting it to them to. He's almost gaslighting them into pushing him out of the door.
Yeah.
Like he could be leaving, and yet he's putting the onus on them to saying, you have to go, you can't coach here for the playoff.
If I'm LSU or Florida and I'm handing this man $90 million to coach, you can get through the Egg Bowl, but I'm going to need you to go ahead and get down here and get in the transfer portal and let's get this thing going. I don't know.
But that Lane has leverage over them too.
It's an irrelevant question, guys. It's an irrelevant question because they're going to lose the Egg Bowl, probably going to be out of the playoff.
Yeah.
Nobody's going to want to put them in the playoff if they don't have their coach. They're going to lose the Egg Bowl. They're going to be out, and it's going to put Vanderbilt or Oklahoma, and it's going to be a great couple of days.
Why does Ole Miss have $90 million? I've been to that school. A lot of rich people down there. It seems like all the rich people, all the money is there, not at Mississippi State.
Not true at all.
Why don't they have $90 million? Because Mississippi State's a poor state? Like, why? That's an honest question.
If they had $90 million, they would have offered him $90 million. If that's what LSU offers to get him, then obviously that's what Ole Miss doesn't have.
I probably shouldn't be speaking on state finances because I was under the impression that because Louisiana is a very poor state from a demographic standpoint, right? Kind of like an individual citizen standpoint. I thought there wasn't money there. Turns out, though, when you have all these massive oil and gas companies, that maybe there's a lot more economy there that can be unlocked if you were to apply the full political machine of the governor's office to unlocking it. So, that's where LSU has suddenly come up with just insane amounts of money is Governor Jeff Landry has put the full weight of his office
that can't
behind
bode well for them claiming they can't pay Brian Kelly.
That's an insane amount of money.
So that's the other part about the Kelly thing is, from what I'm hearing, is they're just going to try to make that as nasty as they possibly can in court.
Which again, to me, would be why if you're a coach, maybe I'm thinking too far ahead, but why would I want to go to a school that's going to create this type of fight with the guy before me? Is any company. If you look at the way they do business, hey, we're paying you 90, guess what? You struggle, you're out the door, and we're not going to pay you. Is that really 90?
So I would say it's greasy in that, or why you would maybe go there is it's an overwhelming amount of money, like with incentives up to $50 million.
But we just said that. If
but beyond that, they're promising basically $30 million a year for the roster through NIL, saying you won't even have to recruit. We'll have all the money to pay everybody.
Am I taking the school's promise of anything to do with money?
Yeah.
Seriously, when I'm seeing the promise they made before with money, they're not living up to. So I don't know.
I would say it's a dirty business. I would also say when you have a charismatic governor that is sitting there and working overtime to get you and convince you, say, look, I'm going to throw everything behind.
I don't know how this turned into the LSU and Mississippi State show. It's Michigan.
You just asked the question. Dave, you just asked the question. I'm answering the question.
Matters. That's the only game people are talking about. It's one of the biggest games. Well, I don't know. We got to ask Ohio State fans.
Well, look, we still got a lot of Pats talk coming up. Don't worry. We got a lot of NFL talk coming up next, though. It's my favorite segment every week from a pure football perspective. It is the Football G-Spot. Greg Olsen, Jon Gruden, Dave Portnoy breaking down the weekend. Don't go anywhere. More Wake Up Barstool here on FS1.
Top 10 team going to lose in Starkville. It's a big deal.
It's a big deal. Welcome back to Wake Up Barstool. It's time for the best football segment we do every single week. This is the Football G-Spot with Jon Gruden and Greg Olsen.
Got me feeling icy.
I love football. Knock on wood if you're with me, everybody.
Can I finish my point?
All right, welcome, guys. Back from the G-Spot. Coach, you know, we had a great segment, which for 2 seasons, TV coach guys, I thought was really disappointing that we were having this great JJ McCarthy segment at the commercial break. I thought we were both all professionals in this room, and we'd wait till we were recording to discuss. But Greg, you were there. You were talking about it. What are we going to do now? Everyone's dumping on JJ. I won't do it. I have loyalty for Michigan. The guy, I've never seen a quarterback get attacked who's only played, 7 or 8 games in his career. Are you ready to throw this guy in a trash bag like the rest of the world after watching him?
No, I mean, it was only his sixth career start yesterday at Lambeau. And as we said during the broadcast, like there's 2 elements to this, right? There's the one that, hey, this guy's played 6 games. And of course there's going to be learning curve, there's going to be struggles, there's going to be ups and downs. And he's got a great coach in Kevin O'Connell who seems to have brought out the best in pretty much every quarterback that he's worked with in his time in Minnesota, right? So I don't think we just cast him aside and say it's over, have to move on to somebody else. But on the other side of it, like this is a team last year that won 14 games. This is an offense with, Jordan Addison and Justin Jefferson and an offensive line that has been banged up and an offensive play caller. Like there's a lot of pieces here to maybe you're not a 14-win offense like you were last year, but certainly better than what we've seen. So I think the criticism is warranted. I think the criticism in this league, we all know, everyone knows what they sign up for, but I think it's too early to say he can't do it. I do think there needs to be a lot of growth. There needs to be improvement. I think this week in Seattle, if I'm Kevin O'Connell and we're going to be at the game, like I think you just say, forget it. Like we're running our offense and he can either do it or he can't. We're not going to protect him. We're not going to go heavy run. We're not going to just kneel on the ball. We are going to run our offense the way we've run it for the last couple of years with whoever was at quarterback, and we're going to let this guy just rip it. And if he throws 5 picks, so be it. But I almost think they got to take the training wheels off and just say, let's figure out if this kid can play and let him play in an offense where we kind of let him rip it.
And now, Coach, I assume this was O'Connell's draft pick, right? I mean, he's the one, he was there. It had to be his draft pick. If you're the coach in this situation and you have a quarterback who's not doing it and these historically bad numbers, how long do you stick with him?
Well, you don't have a choice right now. It looks like Carson Wentz is hurt. I don't know who their backup would be. This is going to be a tough process. It is always with a young quarterback. I remember going through this with Brett Favre when we were in Green Bay in 1992. There were some peaks and there were some valleys. The big thing with JJ is he's just got to play the position better. And I'm talking about the little things. They had 8 false starts in one game. The communication at the line of scrimmage has to get better. He's got to avoid the interceptions and the negative plays. And I learned from Bill Walsh a long time ago, we will not save a bad idea at any position. He's got to show some improvement. His ball security has to be better. His at the line of scrimmage mechanics have to be better. And they got to start putting some points on the board and competing, because the one thing Greg didn't say is they do still have a good defense that can keep you in games. And the Chicago Bears have a young quarterback who's making progress. Coach O'Connell's got to do a better job. He's got to take it upon himself to deliver a game plan that really promotes his success. They need McCarthy to play well in front of his teammates. That's the most important thing.
And reading into young quarterbacks, there was some ridiculous stat, I don't have it in front of me, that Cleveland Brown quarterbacks, their first start were like 0-748. Shador comes in with this circus around him and beats up on the Raiders. Your Raiders are pathetic, Coach. Absolutely pathetic. Can't win. Maybe the worst team in the league. You said you wanted to put a fork in your eyes watching them. Can you read anything into Shador, who, by the way, after the game, I don't know if we have this clip, he kind of did his version of, we're talking about practice. Imagine a year of practice. I'll be dangerous. What did we think of Shador's first start, Coach?
Well, I would pump the brakes on that a little bit. The throw we keep watching was against an all-out blitz. The Browns don't even pick up the blitz. It's a horrible blitz by the Raiders because they don't contain a right-handed quarterback. They let him out to his right. He made a great throw. But I'm not going to jump off the table yet because he threw a bubble screen for a 70-yard touchdown against the worst entry I've ever seen on defense. They relied on the Wildcat. They relied on their defense to win that game yesterday. And you're right, that was as bad a Raider performance on offense as I've ever seen. But Shador did get the win, but I don't think those other 17 or 18 quarterbacks that lost faced a team that played that poorly. That was not a good play by the Raiders yesterday.
Now, by the way, I should preface it. I love Shador. He was my number one quarterback I liked out of college. Obviously, the slip made me think. I think he's pretty good. Greg, I don't know if you guys have seen any highlights. The throw he made scrambling out, I assume you're talking about the bubble. The throw that the guy got tackled at the 1 was a pretty impressive throw. Greg?
Yeah, I only caught the highlights. I was traveling back from Green Bay, but obviously, listen, you win in this league, you win in this league. And yes, the Raiders are pathetically bad. And there's a lot of layers to what's going on with Vegas and the Raiders, and they're firing coaches every other week. So certainly if you're going to make your NFL debut as a rookie, that's how you draw it up, right? He didn't play Seattle or the Rams or, one of those teams where, could have been pretty ugly. But you don't apologize for who you play in the NFL. You don't make the schedule. He doesn't determine which game he starts and which games he doesn't. So you give credit where credit's due. I like Shador coming out of college too. I think the physical skill set, the size, the arm strength, he's athletic. You can see him there, move out of the pocket and whatnot. So there are some physical qualities there that I think you can build with. The part that makes me hesitate, without being in the building, without being at practice, as bad as things were in Cleveland, that it took this long for them to turn it over to him, and it really came from a Dylan Gabriel injury, is pretty much the story that they turned to him. And there could be a million reasons why Kevin Stefanski waited so long. But, those are always the things in the back of my mind that say, okay, there's usually reasons for that. Guys don't sit the quarterback who could win on the bench out of just principle. So there's typically reasons for it. So listen, I hope he does well. I hope they continue to win. Cleveland needs to find their quarterback. They've been searching for 2 decades. So if it's Shador Sanders, then great.
We had a lot of what I would say kind of surprising game flows results. So pretender, contender. We'll start with the Eagles, who I think was the Super Bowl champion. 21-point lead, blows it in a shocking collapse, really, to the Cowboys. We read into this 1 week, alarm. Greg, what'd you think?
I've always said I still think, no matter the ups and downs and the stories and the drama that comes out of Philly, until someone proves in the playoffs in a 1-game series each week that somebody can beat them, they're still, in my mind, up there. And, now I have Seattle in there. I have the Rams in there. I think that's kind of the class of the NFC for the most part. But yeah, that was a shocking loss. I looked down right after our game ended and they were down 21 blank, and it seemed like the game had just started. And then, you're traveling home and it turns to 21-7, and then the Cowboys just start creeping in. And it was not so much that Dallas's offense found their way and made the big plays, and George Pickens has been incredible for Dallas. I mean, what a pickup that he's been in Dallas. But it's really the story of the defense since they've come off the bye. They add Quinnen Williams, they add some of these pieces, they're getting healthy. That defense is significantly better these last 2 weeks. Now, one of them was against the Raiders, right? So we're putting an asterisk next to that. But against the Philadelphia Eagles, the defending Super Bowl champs, that Dallas defense has gotten a lot better to blank them the second, third, and fourth quarter combined to just have a chance for the offense to come back. So, yeah, that was a really kind of strange loss for Philly, but Dallas is sneaky, and the offense is going to keep them competitive in pretty much every game. And if that defense, we said this weeks ago, Dave, on this show, if that defense could just be average, they're going to win a lot of games. And it seems like that's where they're starting to move.
Coach, I got a different one for you. Two teams that won, but I would say were a little bit alarming in the way they won, and that would be the Detroit Lions, who needed overtime to beat the Chicago Bears at home. And then if you go look at the Ravens, they were kind of in a rock fight. Everyone's just waiting for the Ravens, this Ravens team to explode. And they're playing the Jets, and it looks like they're struggling for every cent. What one of those teams do you think is more fool's gold right now? Are you still sold on both of them, Lions and Ravens?
I'm a little more concerned with the Lions. I feel the Ravens have corrected their defense in the last 5 games. They're only giving up 15 points a game. Lamar has been hurt, missed some practice time. I don't have any question that the offense will improve, although I will agree with you. It was an ugly game yesterday, but I'm like that Johnny Cash song. I hear that train a-rolling. It's rolling down the bend. I feel the Ravens have just won 5 straight, and they're in first place in the North. They were 1-5, and they have a Super Bowl champion coach. The Lions, changing play callers, losing Sam Laporta. I don't like their defense right now. They give up a lot of plays. They look a little bit like they did last year. They rely on Jared Goff to make every play. And their offensive line does struggle at times. They've been inconsistent. I'm a little more worried about the Lions, given the fact I like Green Bay and Chicago's progress a little bit more.
All right, so we got this video that you guys got to see, and I love these player coach videos. This is high school football in Mississippi. State final, I believe. Guys running, let's play the video. Guys running out of bounds. Coach looks like he takes a shot at this guy as he's going out of bounds here. Bam, a little arm there. Player goes down. Then there's a fight with the coaches and the player on the sideline after. Here it is again. He's going to the sideline. Looks like he's going to go right through. The coach gives him a little forearm shiver, and boom, down he goes. I don't know if we have a report. Brandon Walker posted, people are saying the coach is going to be fired. He's done with his career. Coach, have you ever delivered a forearm shiver to a guy running by you? And what do you think the punishment should be for this, if any?
I haven't done that, Dave. I've been frustrated many a time, though. I saw Woody Hayes do something like that in a bowl game against Clemson years ago. That is uncalled for. I don't blame a coach, though, for sticking his arms out to protect himself if someone's
All right. Okay.
Yeah.
Hold on. I got a little bit to
I don't know
say.
if it was that type of protection.
So-
I'm sure there's going to be a lot of people looking into that.
So the rumor is the first coach right there is actually an injured player that was dressed like the coaches that day.
Okay.
That changes it.
That changes everything. But that's a grown-looking man who's an injured player.
That guy was a high school kid?
Yeah, that's what I said. And then, but the second coach that took off his headphones, that is an actual coach. So this right here, I believe, is an injured player.
He does look youthful in the face.
But
That's not a player.
That's what I said. Maybe they're trying to protect the coach. I don't know. But
By the way, he knew he did something bad. He tried to skirt out of there before the fight started, if you notice.
Next thing we're going to say is it's artificial intelligence. Someone made this video. We don't know who this person is. It's a 47-year-old player of some kind.
Oh, okay. If it's a player, it's a problem now, Coach. Just a second ago, you had every coach throwing forearm shivers.
Oh,
Greg, you're a youth sports guy. It's a little bit older, but what do you think the punishment here is?
If that's a coach, he needs to lose his job. And listen, I have been on many sidelines from Pop Warner to Friday night at our high school state championship that we lost. And like, you could be frustrated. You could hate the other team. The other kids could be talking trash, and you cannot put your hands on the opposing players. And I don't care if it's the NFL, like an NFL player runs to the sideline. A coach cannot put their hands on another player. Now, we've all been there where you kind of grab a guy and you stop him from running
what
off.
About Big Dom?
Big Dom put his hands on guys and got kicked out of the game. You just can't. I called that game when Big Dom got kicked out against the 49ers. It was Dre Greenlaw, right?
Yeah, I think so. Yeah.
I think
Can we pull that clip up? I'd like to hear Olsen's comment.
Oh, we got Gruden pulling up clips now.
Oh yeah, if we should have had that ready. What did you say in real time when Big Dom did it?
That's a really good question. All I do remember though is when they escorted him out. I mean, oh God, what did I say? Like something along the lines, because he was getting like a standing ovation. I mean, the fans were loving it because I believe it was in Philly. Man, I can't remember the exact details of it, but it was years ago, and I think we were just excited. Oh, here we go.
That's it. Let's play it. Do we have the sound?
No sound.
Can't run sound.
We can't get sound.
I'm sure my
Now Big Dom gets attacked right there.
Yeah,
Big Dom gets a finger in the face and he shoves him. But I'll tell you what, he walked out of that stadium. He's never buying a beer, a drink, a dinner ever in Philly. That dude is a legend. And that night, right or wrong, he walked out of that stadium to a massive ovation.
He did get attacked first. All right, last thing, we'll just let you go. But how about those New England Patriots? Best record in the league. 10-2, standing alone. When you look at the standings in the league, there's nobody else on a platform like him. Drake May started slow yesterday. Didn't have the best start. Kind of looked like he forgot what time kickoff was. Some really odd throws. Then he kicked it into gear. Couple injuries. They don't seem like they were that serious. And a win is a win is a win in this league. I'll let you guys both have a minute to sing the praises of the New England Patriots. I'll start with you, Coach. How good is this team?
They're good. They're going to have to prove it, though, by beating some teams that actually have winning records. They have to do that. But I like the fact that they can score on defense. Marcus Jones made a big play, and their kicker. They have a rookie kicker, and this kid has hit 15 out of 16, 4 for 4 yesterday. You better watch out for this team. They got a lot of young guys that have confidence.
Greg?
Yeah, I said this earlier about Shedeur. I know everyone's killing them about their schedule and they'll win, teams that have below 500 records and all that. But this is the NFL. This is not college football. One team doesn't play in the SEC and one team play in the MAC, right? Like everyone is playing some version of the same group of teams, and you don't control. Yes, they were the fourth. They got the fourth seed in the division kind of schedule as it turns. But that's the nature of the business. You play who you play. It is going to get more difficult when they get to the playoffs. They're going to start playing real teams. And we'll figure out what it looks like. But along the way, you never apologize for winning in the NFL. You never apologize for how you win. Vrabel is clearly coach of the year. And at this rate, I think Drake we said this a couple weeks ago. He's in the MVP conversation. Him, Stafford seem to be the two guys in my mind that are leading the pack as of this point. But they deserve a lot of credit. I hate it. I like that they're winning. You become exhausting, but I get.
Yeah, I mean, a Rams-Patriots Super Bowl would start being one of the more underrated Super Bowl matchups. It would be the third time these teams have met in the Super Bowl. Off the top, I'm trying to think who would have more Super Bowl matchups than that. That's a lot. So, thank you guys as always. Great to see you. It's always great to live in a world. Well, you know what? Before we go, I'll let you do one more thing. Give your pick, Michigan, Ohio State. The big game now. Michigan, obviously, 4 years in a row. We'll see if you guys have any guts. Greg, who you got?
Ohio State.
Boring. Coach?
Well, since Ohio State really has nothing to play for because they are undefeated, I like Michigan in the big house, but just because you're on this call with me, I'm taking the Buckeyes, man.
All right. Well, I'll keep you. And that is.
Let me ask you this, Dave. Well, let me ask you this, because it feels like I don't know what we're doing up against the break here, but we'll make it. You guys can make it up in the later segment. I've heard you a million times over the years say when like the Patriots lose a game in November, like back in the day with Brady and them, we don't worry about meaningless games. We're only winning for Super Bowls. Why are you the opposite with Michigan? Like, why is it more important that Michigan wins a meaningless game at the end of the season, but Ohio State wins the Natty?
Right. Well, I mean, that's such a professional, dumb question. First of all, last year was the first year the playoff existed. So the last game always mattered. If you didn't win the last game, you don't advance. So last year was an aberration. We never even had the playoff. Michigan, Ohio State always was the game. If you don't win that game, your season's over. So that didn't exist. You had to beat Ohio State. Ohio State had to beat Michigan. We have the playoff. Now, this year, that's what I've started off. If Ohio State people want to say this game doesn't matter, that's fine. They should just say it beforehand. Michigan wins, they're in the playoffs. So this is clearly a very
If Ohio State loses, though, they're in the playoffs, no?
Correct. So that is, yes. So I am asking Ohio State fans before the game, just tell me
Would you rather win this game or win the national title?
You gotta win both.
What would you rather?
You gotta win both.
Would you rather last year be Michigan or be Ohio State?
Oh, last year I would rather be Michigan.
Good God.
That's a preposterous. That is ridiculous.
No
You'd
doubt.
rather not win the national title?
Ohio State had a hollow, empty
Absurd.
national title.
Absurd.
And
That is
hollow.
Brandon Walker, will you fix
Wait,
it?
play the clip.
I've tried, Greg. This is absurd.
No, play the Ohio. Play that video that I have. Austin, get the video of the two Ohio State guys that work for us. The Fat Boy, Fat Ev, and Ohio State. Get those videos up right now. Let them see what they said at the end of the game. Get that up. Don't let them go to break. We'll make it up on the other time. Get that clip up. I tweeted it out. Get that clip up of them talking and show what is. You want to talk revisionist history. These two guys are sitting there saying they knew they were going to playoffs. We're dead. The fire Ryan dead.
Oh, I'm not debating that
I don't
Ohio
care
State
what
people
they
said
do
that.
the rest of the season.
I'm not
we have to
debating
beat
that.
Michigan. This is rivalry. This is blood. This is 100 years of feud. And if it doesn't matter to you, I'm fine. I just want the Ohio State crowd to say it before the game. I don't want to hear them, oh, we beat Michigan if they don't care about it. Sit your guys. Rest your guys. Get ready for the playoffs. If that's the new world we want to live in, Gregory, we can live in that world. But
I'm not an Ohio State guy.
before the
I'm
game.
not an Ohio State
Don't
guy.
try to change it after. That's all I'm asking.
I'm just saying if the goal should be to win Super Bowls and the goal should be to win national titles.
Agreed.
That is the only thing that matters.
Do you admit that when you have 100 years of in order to win the national title, you have to beat Ohio State or they have to beat Michigan? Last year, it definitely was like a shift because of this playoff. So it's like, oh, wait, you can lose this game and still, but that's brand new. And last year, nobody thought about it. Now we are in a new era, year 2 of the playoff. So maybe the 150 years of history and Woody Hayes rolling
Right,
around.
but I asked you who you'd rather be last year, and you chose not to be the team that won the national championship.
Correct, last year.
You're not making sense, man.
I am making sense. The year that Michigan won the national championship 2 years ago, we beat Ohio State. Then we went to the Rose Bowl, beat Nick Saban, put him in a retirement home, then won the national championship. That's what you want. You want all the eggs. Last year, though, it's like it didn't feel real because the new national championship was brand new. So nobody's thinking playoffs and sneaking in. It's Ohio State had a class. You had Jack Sawyer, and you got guys, Gruden. He's fawning over the quarterback there. He loves these guys. But you know what? They go to sleep on a bed of lies because they all came back and they said the only reason we're coming back
Greg.
for year 4 is to beat Michigan. That's literally what Jack Sawyer said. And then he's crying. He had tears
I know they had to settle for the national championship.
No,
That
he
was
had
unfortunate.
tears rolling down his eyes. Why?
That was unfortunate, Coach. They had to settle for a national title. That was
Exactly. You know what, Greg? Rivalries, I think Dave needs to agree with this. Rivalries have been diminished in college football. And now Michigan, Ohio State, you just have to say it, Dave. It's not as important. I mean, I grew up, it was always Oklahoma, Nebraska on Thanksgiving, Pitt and Penn State, Texas A&M, USC, UCLA, Notre Dame, USC. No one cares anymore about this Michigan, Ohio State game except you. And you're just a grouchy man. That's
You have it? Did they just say we can or can't run it?
We cannot. I'm getting a thumbs
Well, we
down.
have it without. Try to get that fine. We won't run it
Dave
because
didn't
I put
listen at all.
music to it. I put Billy Joel's Pressure song to it, but that's fine. If my frozen. I'm saying if we want to say the rivalries don't matter, and Michigan won the last 4 games that mattered in this rivalry, that's fine. Fine. Then Michigan won the rivalry, and it's done. Fine.
If the last thing I'll say, say the Patriots win the division and they lose to the Bills in the divisional round or however, was it worth winning the division?
No, of course not. But the NFL and college football are 2 different animals. Now it's becoming more of a similar animal, but that's brand new.
But we got to live in today. It's not 1875 anymore.
And that is why, Gregory, I am saying Ohio State, if they want to say the game doesn't matter, say it now and I can live with it. I just don't want them to win and act like it's a rivalry. It's important to me. It's still important to me. But if it's not important to the people of Ohio, just say it. That's all. I think that's fair. All right.
Why don't you take charge of the show?
Football G-Spot. Hey, guys, next week, Gruden, Greg, we're going to have the Miami-Notre Dame discussion, okay? That's coming up. But for now, we go to break. Coming up on the other side, we're still got a lot more coming up. Let's get into the NFL weekend. That was a fantastic week of NFL Sunday. And Coach Gruden's Shredline coming up as well. This is Wake Up Barstool. Welcome back to Wake Up Barstool and FS1. We'll dive into Saturday's football slate, and then hour 2, we will go heavy NFL for the entire hour. Brandon, recapping this last weekend, we had some debate on Unnecessary Roughness, our college football pod, which everybody should go subscribe to. We had some debate as to the quality of the week, but on the whole, kind of a sleeper weekend as the SEC decides to take off this time of year every year.
Yeah, it was a bad week of football. The Big Ten tried. Oregon USC was fine, or Oregon kind of passed the test on their home field, but the SEC taking the week off with half their teams is just not good for the sport. You're talking about building excitement for a playoff, a 12-team playoff. It should build throughout the month of November.
Yeah.
And the SEC punting on the next to last week of the season is bad for everybody. Of course, it is probably fixed because soon they'll have a 9-game conference schedule and we won't deal with this anymore, but it was bad Saturday.
Yeah, now that said, there are still games played, there's still movement in the rankings, and this is Brandon Walker's brand new top 12.
So you've got Ohio State number 1, Indiana 2, pretty solid 1 and 2. I got Georgia still at 3 with A&M at 4, just because I'm still mad at A&M for how bad they were last week. Doesn't really matter if you're 3 or 4 at this point. Texas Tech is 5, and I did finally start to respect BYU. They go on the road. They go on the road to Cincinnati, and they win that game, a game that a lot of people said, including myself, they weren't going to win, and they did. And now they jump up over Oklahoma, over Notre Dame, over all the 2-loss teams, and they join Ole Miss and Oregon in that 1-loss mess there in the middle. Oklahoma 9, Notre Dame 10, Alabama 11, and then Miami 12. That is my top 12 for right now. But the big mover is
Solid top
BYU.
12.
BYU coming from being underranked in my poll last week, and they finally start to move up. And Dave's been on that all year.
I like hearing
Provo, Dave. I was in Cincinnati, and the great people of Provo, they've adopted me as one of their sons. I don't think a lot of people saw that coming at the beginning of the year, that I would become the face of the Mormons, but I have. And I actually met Bear Bachmeier's dad before the game. And you know what he came up? He said, Bear was doing pizza reviews in high school, his own pizza review videos. So everything is just kumbaya in Provo. And this team is big. This running back, LJ Martin, big, physical. Isn't his name LJ?
Yeah, LJ, 32 carries Saturday.
Thought someone said who.
yards.
No, I think he said, woo, like that.
Oh, yeah.
I don't think he said who.
Yeah, no, he's a beast. This team's big, physical. Their only loss is to Texas Tech. And people say they really got thumped by Texas Tech. I mean, they lost convincingly, but it's on the road. I think if they played at BYU, they could have handled them. And I don't think they are necessarily have no shot to beat them in the rematch game if that happens, which it looks like it will. So, yeah, I think BYU's a playoff team.
BYU's defense showed up in the game against Texas Tech, too. It's just the offense was a complete zero.
The rematch is fascinating. The rematch is, can BYU stay in the playoff mix if they lose close, or can they win? And that forces 2 Big 12 teams, or should it be 2 Big 12 teams regardless if BYU only has the 2 losses to Texas Tech? That's a question we're going to have to answer eventually.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, it's interesting to say. Like, I don't know. I've heard people say they don't think BYU. I know on the Big Noon set, they're like, if BYU loses against Texas Tech, they ain't getting in. I don't know. I think they should, but certainly, I don't know how you could argue Texas Tech would get in if BYU beat them and then say BYU doesn't. Like, if a team only loses to a national championship contender twice, that's their only two blemishes. Does that mean they're not one of the 12 best teams? I don't think so.
BYU to me is the ultimate example of where I get frustrated with like kind of the subjectivity in college football, because look at the spreads the last 2 weeks. BYU was supposed to lose, right? That was Vegas telling us they know due to setting and everything else.
They're a little favorite this week.
We know who was we know who's better, but people were all over them, and yet BYU goes out, they dominate, they handle both games, right? So I do fear for BYU that if they lose in the Big 12 championship again, the committee may keep them out, saying we know they're not that good when they have constantly surpassed expectations all year long.
Yeah, and I think they have a real chance to beat them in the rematch, like a real chance. So, listen, they've had a great season, and we'll see what happens. But they deserve the respect. They've had a great season. They proved it week in, week out.
Brandon,
So
OU.
Brandon, that's a sign of growth.
I appreciate that, Dave. Thank you very much for noticing that. I am trying to be better and trying to come a long way. I'm living up to the responsibility of being the #1 college football media personality in the world.
Brandon, now, interestingly, so you have OU over Notre Dame here, which I mean OU's resume is fantastic at this point. That makes all the sense in the world. You still have Miami behind Notre Dame despite the head-to-head.
Sure.
Is there a disconnect in those two logics meeting up?
No, I don't think so.
Because I'm sure you think that Notre Dame is better than Oklahoma, no or yes?
No, I think Oklahoma and Notre Dame are they're very even as far as on the field. Because listen, Oklahoma's got a hell of a resume.
Yeah, I know. They're great.
They won on the road at Alabama, and they got a defense that will choke you out.
On the road at Tennessee.
Notre Dame is doing their own thing right now and doing it very well. They're killing everybody. By the way, that Notre Dame-Syracuse game was the wackiest, weirdest game I've ever seen in my entire life.
Yeah.
They were up 21-0 without having the ball. They passed for 67 yards, scored 70 points. It's just a crazy. Jeremiah Love had 8 carries for 171 yards. Like, it was wild, the numbers, if you dig into that game. But I think Notre Dame and Oklahoma are very, very even. But Oklahoma, I would give the nod on resume right now.
There's 3 teams in my mind that can win the national championship. 4 if Michigan gets in. Notre Dame, Ohio State, and the 3rd team is Georgia right now. Those are the only 3 teams that I really think can be hoisting the trophy at the end. Again, Michigan beats Ohio State. I throw them in. But Notre Dame's a legit team.
I can't believe I'm about to do this, but I would put Indiana in that group of national title.
I throw the 2 Texas schools in there, A&M and Tech as well. But we have plenty more time to discuss
that's
all
fair.
of this.
Maybe that's fair. You know what? I spoke. You guys, you're right.
Look at us.
Hour 2. Look at us, guys.
Mature.
Hour 2, NFL Week 12 recap. More Wake Up Barstool FS1. Grab a coffee. See you on the other side.
You think you're a #1 college football?
What's going on, guys? Another Monday following another Patriots victory.
We're
Sunday.
really leading with that again? I thought y'all were kidding. The Chiefs played the Colts yesterday in a great game. We're leading with the Patriots again?
We're leading with the Pats, and we'll get a Chiefs Colts. Look, it's Dave's company. You know,
I just want to watch. It'll be real quick. For the rest of the country who may not be studying, watching Drake May like I am, you are witnessing God in shoulder pads. And I'm not supposed to say that either, but you're witnessing one of the great players develop in front of your eyes. I just had to show the world those 2 highlights.
Hey, the bigger news is there was some fear that this could have been a Pyrrhic victory with the left side of the offensive line going down, but Ian Rappaport, Will Campbell, of course, carded off with a knee injury. Ian Rappaport tweeting just a few minutes ago, it's thought to be a strained MCL, which is like a partial tear. Take about a month to recover, probably hit IR for 4 weeks. It is the best case scenario when you're left.
I would have given my knee for Will Campbell. Yeah. I would give both my knees. I love Will Campbell.
Let it be known. All right, so as you alluded to, Brandon, Colts Chiefs yesterday. You know what it felt like? You know how in a movie there's always a moment, like an action movie, where the guy's got the knife, he's on top of it, he's got the knife above his heart, and all he has to do is drive it down and it's dead. And the hero always finds a way to barely escape. Like the Colts had the knife and they could not find a way to finish them.
This could be gigantic going down the stretch of the season. The Chiefs were this close to almost being dead.
Dead.
I think if they lose that game, they're in real trouble. They're still not out of the woods, but they had to have this game. And Mahomes in the fourth quarter was fantastic and got him back in the game to win the game. We might look back at this in 3 months, 2 months, or whatever, and say, boy, the Colts had a chance to knock this team out and they didn't, and now here they are. I think the Colts, even in defeat, the Colts have proven they've had multiple chances to fade and not be the team we thought. I think they're going to be a team in the playoffs that we got to worry about too. But this was all about the Chiefs staying alive for at least one more day.
Well, the Chiefs. So a question for you,
yeah,
and not to make this a Patriot question, but I think it works. If you were a Patriot fan, which I am, who would you have been rooting for here? Because you had the Colts sitting there with a great record and you're fighting for one, or would you want to see the Chiefs dead and buried even though they're sitting at 6-5?
I think you'd want to take the opportunity to bury the Chiefs.
Yeah, everybody wants to bury the Chiefs.
I think anytime you can bury the Chiefs and maybe even the Ravens, but mostly the Chiefs. If you can bury the Chiefs, take that opportunity and worry about the Colts later. I'd much rather be fighting with the Colts for the number one seed than have the Chiefs alive at all.
Well, the thing, and I'll get to you in a second, Meek, but the thing about the Colts is like, you know, sometimes you're insecure about something and you try to convince yourself it's not true.
Sure.
And then it turns out, no, you really are just fat, or somebody tells you take a fat picture. Like, that's kind of what happened to Daniel Jones on Sunday, where, you know, everybody's like, can Jones make the plays? Can he make the plays when the game's put in his hand? The Chiefs did an incredible job of shutting down Jonathan Taylor. In that fourth quarter, they had the 11-point lead. They put the game in Daniel Jones' hands. Shane Steichen did. Taylor only touched the ball 3 times at the end of that game. And what did the Colts do? 4 straight 3-and-outs. Open the door for the Chiefs to come back and win. So I still love this Colts team. I still like Daniel Jones, but he has to overcome what was kind of what all of his biggest doubters have been saying being on display yesterday.
And another team, by the way, we haven't talked about at all because it's Thursday Night Football, but I mean, the Bills got brutalized by the Texans. Yeah. They're now 7-4. They basically have given up now the AFC East for a team that a lot of people were saying were the Super Bowl favorites out of the AFC. Man, they got brutalized the other day and really have been up and down all season. So you got to be worried if you're a fan of Buffalo. It's very interesting when you put those rankings up, the standings, totally different than what we've seen before. And I don't think the Chiefs have the turn-on button. I don't think the Ravens have the turn-on button. I think we're going to see somebody else representing the AFC. Hopefully it's my Patriots. But even if it's not, this top line, Patriots, Broncos, Colts, I think those are the 3 most legitimate teams to come out of the AFC.
The only thing about the Ravens right now, I'd say, is that the defense is awesome again. I think it's like 6 straight opponents held under 20 points. Lamar's not.
We see who the Ravens have played, though, because everybody knew the Ravens was going to do this run. They're playing crap teams. They haven't played anybody worth a dime.
Well, I'm not sure a Patriots fan can say that right now.
Also,
here we go.
They had
all right, but give me a break here. The Dolphins, the Vikings, the Browns, and the Jets. I mean, give me a break.
I think, you know, again, I think that's the pot calling the kettle black a little bit. Meek, what did you want?
What are those noises?
I don't think so.
Why not? Why don't you think so? Put it in the Patriots.
Bucks, Falcons, those are legitimate teams.
And the Ravens did lose.
The Falcons are not legitimate, and the Bucks are falling apart right now.
These are also the exact same. Browns, Jets, Bengals, Panthers.
They're not the same. Dolphins. I have the Buccaneers and the Falcons in my last 4.
You got 2 nice wins on that schedule. You got the Bills and you got the Bucks.
Time out. Of the last 4, 2 of those teams are pretty good. Our record's 10-2. My point is when Baltimore is playing teams that aren't the Jets, the Browns, the Dolphins, the Raiders, they lose. What are you guys so stupid? Sometimes I feel like I'm talking to a wall. Yeah, we've beaten some bad teams and we've beaten some good teams. The Ravens have only beaten bad teams. What are you missing there? That's why their record is 6-5.
The Ravens defense was injured all
Even Walker, I know when I beat Walker with the point because I can see his face be like, oh, that's actually a fair point. They're beating the good and the bad. The Ravens are only beating the bad. That's a pretty big.
Well, the Ravens didn't have their quarterback for a month, too.
They didn't have their quarterback. The defense was injured to hell. They're all healthy now. Lamar's not even playing good. If Lamar turns it on, the Ravens will be legitimate.
Oh, and Lamar turns it on in the playoffs?
No, when he turns it on, when he finds his yeah, Lamar was awesome last season. Lamar? He made the throw. He made the throws last year. Mark Andrews dropped the ball.
Well, has Lamar got one playoff win in like 10 years? I'm not worried about playoff Lamar. Let's see him get there, and then we'll see what playoff Lamar does like he always does. Stinks.
All right, we'll see what playoff Drake does. Meek, what do you got for the Chiefs?
What's currently hurting the Chiefs right now is they have head-to-head losses versus the Chargers, the Jaguars, and the Bills. Those are the 3 teams currently in the wild card spot. So the Chiefs have to make up 2 games on one of those 3 teams. Which of those 3 teams do you think falls out to get the Chiefs in? The Chargers, the Jaguars, or the Bills?
But they'll play another game against the Chargers.
Well, 3 of those teams could fall out. By the way, it's getting that time of year where Jimmy Seafood from Baltimore is going to start chirping me. I haven't had a good rivalry with them. These are the old days back here. I love it. Jimmy Seafood and Big Baltimore, they are playoff Lamar guys. They should shut up too.
All right, so there's still a lot of great games to get to. I mean, the Lions come back against the Giants is fantastic. A lot to chew on there. But should we talk about the Rams? I mean, they feel like the best team in the NFL right now. I think maybe if you wanted to try to craft an argument where they're not, it's like, well, okay, are they peaking too early?
I bet somebody's got an argument they're not.
Well, I mean, I just look at. I'm a stats guy. Look at the records. 10-2,
9-2.
Very good.
Yeah,
the Rams are very good.
And Stafford is playing out of his mind.
Easy MVP right now. Yeah. Not even close.
He's
what are we talking about?
I said Stafford's playing out of his mind. That's not a shot at Drake May.
Easy MVP is he's great. I said Stafford is playing great. He's not easy MVP.
He's minus odds right now.
He's minus 215 right now. Drake is plus 200. It's just between them 2.
In his last 8 games, he throws like 25 touchdowns to no picks.
Having a great game. Listen, he's having a great season.
Look at these throws, man.
I mean, these throws.
The sidearm, dude, the highlights of Matt. I saw you, Liam, tweeting some of those sidearm highlights. The arm angles, the accuracy for Matt Stafford, he is playing as good as I've ever seen someone play the position right now.
30 touchdowns, 2 interceptions.
Good God.
He's playing great. Devontae Adams was such a big pickup for them.
Their entire red zone package right now is unstoppable. I was watching a breakdown the other day. They do this 13 personnel thing where they can basically get Adams one-on-one. They're the one team that can actually consistently execute the fade. Then you try to stop that, and they hit you up the middle. How about, did you see, and they have the other package.
Me of T-Bob, greatest show on turf. This team in the Rams, nobody could stop them. They're putting up 100, and they rolled to the Super Bowl. Looked like they were basically going to be crowned, and then a little old team from New England came in, beat them in the Super Bowl. That's what they remind me of.
Yeah, what was that, a young second-year quarterback with that little old team from New England? No.
Yeah.
I mean, did you see the Stafford no-look pass yesterday? Because that's the crazy thing, right? Like, you got to worry about Adams, you got to worry about Puka Nacua, and then out of nowhere, Stafford can just set you up, no-look, perfect slant to the tight end.
I mean, also just their defense.
Yes,
Jared Verse takes Tristan Wirfs and puts he is shoved them like a sled. You see that, Brando?
I saw it. Yeah.
Yeah, it's crazy. What a powerful human being.
Wish I could watch football with your eyes someday.
I mean, it's
I got
crazy.
giddy watching that.
I got giddy.
It's the entire defensive line. Like, from a pure quality standpoint, they're not probably. They are in the same caliber as the Broncos. They're in the same caliber as the Texans. Only instead of being paired with Bo Nix and C.J. Stroud, they're paired with Matt Stafford. And Sean McVay's the head coach. And they've already won a Super Bowl. Like, that's why the Rams are the favorite.
Why do we even play the season? The way T-Bob's talking, might as well just crown their ass right now.
Hey, look, Dave, how about this, dude? If the Patriots are as good as you say, all roads lead to one another anyway. Like you said, third matchup.
I am definitely not saying the Patriots are guaranteed to win the Super Bowl or anything like that. They're a legitimate team, be a great story. There's a lot of football to be played left. I'm just not going to let sit here on what is the date today? November
24th.
What is the date?
24th.
In November 24th, and hand out the Lombardi Trophy to the Rams.
So if we're not assigning the Lombardi today, if you look at the NFC though, right? Who are the challengers? Because the Bucs have clearly fallen off.
Yep.
The Lions
have fallen off.
The Lions pulled it out of their ass yesterday, and it was an awesome game. I mean, Jameis Winston's so much fun to watch. The 2 trick play touchdowns were unbelievable. But Jahmyr Gibbs.
Eagles, Seahawks. I know the Eagles blew that lead. They're still the defending Super Bowl champions, so I think you always have to respect that. And the Seahawks, although I don't trust Darnold. Listen, the Rams are the favorite, and they're playing great. So it felt like you were going a little too hard on on how good they were. I wasn't ready to submit yet and give them the trophy.
I wouldn't throw San Francisco away, depending on the draw in the playoff either.
I wouldn't throw Green Bay away with that defense.
Yeah, I would throw Green Bay away.
I wouldn't. I wouldn't. Also, once again, an absurd in the hunt graphic. The 4-7 Falcons and 4-7 Vikings are just not in the hunt.
Yeah, we got to take them out.
They're just not in the hunt whatsoever.
Not with JJ, not with Kirk O'Chains. No, you got to take them out. What about the Bears being 8-3?
While we're here, by the way, we just do need to say this. Rams contender, Eagles contender, Seahawks contender. Bears at 8-3. Nice story. Just not a Super Bowl contender.
I think
but super fun, though.
Super fun.
I don't put the Seahawks as a contenders because we've seen how bad Sam Darnold can play.
You just heard that Dave did, right?
I agree, but like Sam Darnold.
Fever?
Sam Darnold, we've seen throw 4 picks in a game this season. We've seen him in the playoffs last year.
But
I can't trust Sam
this,
Darnold.
Okay, but this is the only thing I say, right? And I was just glazing the Rams super hard.
Yeah.
He threw 4 picks against the Rams, and they were still 5 yards away from a legitimate, game-winning field goal opportunity.
And he can throw 4 interceptions. Again, 4 interceptions could be a good game for him.
I agree, and the Rams beat him twice last year. The Rams have Darnold's number. My only point is, it is kind of a good – it's a bit of a moral victory for the Seahawks, and they could be that close despite 4 turnovers.
Put up the in the hunt graphic. I want to look at that one more time. If the Seahawks could ever wrestle home field away –
yeah.
That is a total game changer to them because I actually think that's probably the toughest place to play, maybe in the NFC.
Yeah, I think about Arrowhead on the AFC side. Maybe Gillette, I guess, if the weather's bad.
Gillette doesn't have the same vibe. Listen, see, I'm honest.
Wow, I thought I was setting you up to.
Listen, I'm nothing if I'm not honest.
I think Seattle's a home field. Green Bay's a home field. The Rams certainly do not have a big home field advantage, and I think I think going through Philadelphia would be hard for teams as well.
Dallas's shining sunshine through the window glass.
Yes, that exists.
Yeah.
The Cowboys are kind of a
tough angles.
team.
Very fun game for the Giants, but what you saw here was a good team's culture against a bad team, right? The Lions had to have it. This would have been a disastrous way to lose, and that's why you draft Jahmyr Gibbs in the first round.
I still you come out of this game if you're a Lions.
You don't feel
fan,
great about it, but you survived. You survived.
Yeah, you survived, but you're looking yourself in the mirror, trying to bulk up, be like, oh, I'm big, I'm tough. But deep down, if the bully comes, you're gonna get beaten up. I think that's how the Lions feel after this game. There's no way they're 14-point favorites in a wrestling match here with the Giants. Couldn't stop them, couldn't do anything.
Have the Giants set a record yet this year for most fourth quarter leads that turn into a loss in regulation?
Yeah, they were up 27-17 with 12 minutes to go.
They're up every week.
It's crazy. Again, losing culture. Well, Dave, to your point, I agree with you about the Lions fans' feelings coming out of this, but they have a great opportunity Thursday, Thanksgiving, Lions, Green Bay. Meek, one more before we go.
The Giants have blown 5 fourth-quarter leads of 10 or more points this season, tied for the most in a single season in NFL history.
Good God.
There you go.
You guys hear that noise in the background when, the street cleaners go by? I want to remind people, it's still darkness. It's 6:18 where I am.
Committed.
Hero.
Championship DNA.
I got a bed over here. Can's trying to sleep. This has been one of those things where they're going to talk about. I've been doing this business now for 25 years, up at 5 a.m. West Coast. There's no quit. I'm the first one in the weight room, last one out.
A hero. Up early in your luxury hotel on the West Coast. What a terrible life.
Fresh off the suite at Del Mar.
And the other thing I wanted to ask you guys about was the SEC schedule makers. When I was at Dayton, we played against Samford. What the hell is Samford doing playing Texas A&M when Texas A&M didn't play anybody all year? I want you answer that question. It makes me sick. Then I got to see Eastern Illinois, who my Dayton Flyers played in the opening game of the season. They got to go play Alabama. What the hell is going on? Play a real team.
It's bad.
I agree, Coach. I'd get rid of cupcake games altogether.
Not all together, but not November.
10 power 4, 2 group of 5. Get rid of them.
I do have my 12 teams that are making the playoffs.
Oh.
You guys want them?
Yeah, I would love them. Yeah, hit them.
Okay, this is, to me, without a doubt. First of all, after further review, we're going to take the G5 champion, whoever it is, Tulane or James Madison. They've had a good year, and they're going to play against the champion of the ACC, whoever it is, Pitt, Georgia Tech, SMU. Those teams have all had good years. So we're going to have the Goodyear Tire Bowl for those two teams to play in. They don't get in the 12 tournament. We got Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, and Notre Dame, Georgia, Alabama, Oregon, Texas Tech, and Oklahoma. And we are going to have the Miami Hurricanes in this tournament. They lost to Louisville because they were bored that night. They just didn't feel like playing for whatever reason. But they'll still kick your ass. They got about 7 first-round players. Nobody wants to deal with the Canes. And I also got to have the Vanderbilt Commodores in the tournament. In case you haven't seen Diego Pavia, he's worth the price of admission, and I want to see him in the tournament. And the 12th team, if Texas beats Texas A&M, they got to be in because who doesn't want Arch Manning in the freaking tournament?
Oh, Coach,
BYU. I saw him. They got a quarterback that can't win in this field. That's why I see.
Whoa, Bear Bachmeier's pretty solid there.
Hey, I don't think that was
solid. He's a really good player.
Yeah,
I said, there's my 12 team.
BYU. Total disrespect to BYU. And you're just putting in guys you want to see because you like their last name.
No, I'm not at all.
You were the one doing the Manning doing the whatever. But, I mean, Texas is no good. So Texas.
Those are my 12.
He's working for Big Manning. Wait, Coach, I got to ask you about something that I'm sure pleases.
Am I taking crazy pills? That was 10 teams. He didn't say 12 teams.
I think he said 11 in the end.
Okay.
I think Texas was.
Oh, that was 12.
I lost count.
Ohio State, Indiana, Texas A&M, Notre Dame, Georgia, Alabama, Oregon.
You didn't use your thumb.
You didn't say Oregon.
You didn't use your thumb. You didn't use your thumb.
Oklahoma.
Yeah, but you didn't do your
Miami,
thumb.
Vanderbilt, and I got Texas if they beat
You didn't
A&M.
have Ole Miss in there.
Your fingers aren't adding up to what you're saying. You went 1, 2. No, you went 1, 2, 3, 4, and you kept your thumb curled. And went to the next hand.
If you ran down my sidelines, Portnoy, I would.
Hell yeah, man. You have an infectious energy as well, Coach. It's always so much fun to hang out
I don't
with you.
think infectious is a word.
Yeah, we're saying it. It's a word now. Coach Gruden says it's a word.
Hey, I just kept Mississippi out of it because I want Brandon to look at that face. I don't want Mississippi State. I don't want anybody from Mississippi in because of you, Brandon.
Oh yeah, that would hurt my feelings if you give Ole Miss out. Wow, that would really show me.
I think you reversed this one. I think you accidentally made him very happy.
I hope you lose the Egg Bowl by 40.
Wow!
What's your problem? What's your problem, dude?
man?
I didn't do anything to you.
All right, guys, we got to go to
Love
break.
you guys.
Coach Gruden, love you, man. Take it easy. All right, when we get back, let's head back to the NFL.
We're not in commercial yet. Why did he leave?
Still a few more games that we got to break down. Coming up next.
Got everything off his chest and got out of it.
Just left.
Welcome back. Wake Up Barstool on FS1. It is time for Davey Day Trading Global Stock Up, Stock Down. And let's start with Davey himself. Dave, what you got?
Stock up. Miss Watermelon ran a race yesterday at Del Mar versus a monster from Baffert, Zedon. Very good race. I'm very happy. Stock up Miss Watermelon. Will Campbell avoided major injury. I almost cried when he went down, carted out. Patriots need him. Rookie has been an absolute godsend. So stock up for that. Shedeur Sanders. I don't care what anybody says about who they played, this, that. Finally gets on the field. First Browns quarterback in about 100 years to win his first start. Had a couple of really great throws. Should have had multiple touchdown passes, which I actually bet on. Kind of got screwed because the guy got tackled as one. So there's all stocks up. Stock down Pablo Torre. Jordan announced via Twitter that she was suing Pablo Torre. Wouldn't want to be you, Pablo. Stock down Pablo Torre.
All right, I'll go next. Stock up. Officer Suarez. Local police officer in my neighborhood. I get a knock at the door. What's going on? My dog had gotten out. Officer Suarez brings it back. Not only that, he's a big fan of Wake Up Barstool. So he's protecting, he's serving the community, and he has great taste in TV. Shout out, Officer Suarez. Stock up. Politics and sports. As Governor Jeff Landry has completely unlocked LSU's funding.
I'm so tired of hearing about this governor,
Let's go, baby. Stock down. LSU's offense, they're not going to score 25 points once this season against the FBS team. Only time it's ever happened. Stock down, Nebraska football. Imagine getting forced by Penn State to extend Matt Rule, only then for Penn State to whip Matt Rule's ass later in the season.
Stock down.
Could not be more stock down for Nebraska.
Stock down, Will Compton. You know, I miss Will. He left here. He got all his money, but it was a deal with the devil for what's going on with him. I mean, this guy, nobody has been battered and bruised and humiliated with the team more than Will Compton. I like the guy, but my God, that stock is as low as it can get. He always says there's no rationalizing what's going on in Nebraska football. They are a doormat.
And then did you see the Will Compton bed just smothered in throw up from his kid?
Yeah.
Bad weekend to be Willie C.
Happens. Brandon.
Yeah, stock up. This is a little bit of a predictive stock. This stock isn't up yet, but this weekend it might be. Of all these rivalry games, the Iron Bowl gives me the tickle the most.
Oh.
Alabama is a soft football team. They're going on the road to a desperate, mad, angry Auburn, who they didn't play anybody this week, but Deuce Knight, the freshman, ran for 4 touchdowns and showed a little bit of offensive pop. If they can have any offensive pop, Auburn can beat Alabama this weekend. Stock might be up for the Auburn Tigers. And stock down, Georgia Tech, are you kidding me? Georgia Tech has everything to play for. One of the biggest games in the last 10 years in Bobby Dodge Stadium, and they come out and they're down 28-0 in the second quarter. They just absolutely lay down for Pitt. They tried to fight back, but Haynes King couldn't quite get them all the way back.
Is Narduzzi stock up?
Narduzzi stock is up, because Narduzzi told us the truth.
Yeah.
He told us, he said exactly what was going to happen. He said, Notre Dame, I don't care. I only care about the last 2. And they came out looking like he was exactly right. 2 freshmen, Heinzel quarterback,
and
already said it.
Turner.
And Boosie Turner, they were great. But Georgia Tech, everything to play for, all the way, playoff spot right there in their hands.
Yeah.
And they just no-show at home, embarrassing stock down Georgia Tech.
Meekville.
Adult cheerleading leagues, stock is up. Jordan Hudson put them back on the map. She stole the show last week. I had no idea these even existed until I saw the picture of Jordan and Bill last week. So adult cheerleading league, stock up. Davis Mills, 3-0 as a starter, saved the Texans season.
Yep.
And Jack Hughes, 1 week after suffering from the Fleming curse, was reportedly seen out to dinner with Tate McRae. Fleming curse isn't affecting Jack Hughes, it's only affecting Frank. And
By the way, did you see Jordan tweeted when she was at the Carolina game? She said, just supporting my boyfriend in an all-male football team.
Yep. Stock is up.
Stock up.
My stock down, Jalen Hurts, who has 1 passing touchdown in 2 games versus the Cowboys defense.
Oof.
He is one of 3 quarterbacks to face that defense and not throw for 2 passing touchdowns. The other is Geno Smith and the other is Jaden Daniels, who got injured.
Liam Blutman.
The college football coaching carousel stock way up. So much fun. I can't wait to see what other jobs open. Stock also up to the Cal-Stanford rivalry, having a special moment with the axe stare down. Andrew Luck was perfect. I loved watching Cal-Stanford in a time where college football, in my opinion, is going the wrong direction. To get something like that, what is truly college football, made me very, very happy. I mean, look at these guys. Look at Big 74
Liam,
gets in there too and scares them so much.
You pointed that out on Twitter. That's the fun. He's like a monster. He's like a big ogre walking in there.
It got cropped out.
They literally held each other back.
I love how much Andrew Luck loves Stanford.
Yeah, man.
I wish nothing but the best for him.
Why doesn't he just coach the team?
He's in the huddles. Like, he's on the sideline. He's in the huddles before big plays. He's the best, firing up. The interview's unbelievable. He knows every single player by name, by nickname, shouting ball. It's all so great. I love Andrew Luck so much.
Still stink, though.
I love him so much. I love the
making this seem like, we like the guy, but they're a joke.
Dave, this is what
This is his first year there, though. They're turning it around.
And Frank Reich's an interim. They got a massive investment recently.
They lost Bear Bachmeier, Dave. They lost your boy. They lost him because of the coaching change where Taylor gets fired with cause for what he did, and they lost. They could have had Baird, your guy.
But Dave, you asked about why didn't he coach the team. You got to remember, this is the only college hierarchy where the GM's actually above the head coach. So he may not be coaching, but Andrew Luck is absolutely the leader of Stanford. I'm buying Andrew Luck stock. It's low right now, but we're going to buy low. We're going to sell it high.
GM is ahead of the coach. What does that mean?
Like, you know how
He's running the program.
Like, you know how in the NFL,
Yeah, all right. Well, I don't. Yes, but
you know how in the NFL the GMs they have control over the coach for the most part, right?
yes,
In college,
right.
the coach
I
has
would
always been
assume
king.
the GM, but I mean, the coach to me, even in an NFL world, is more important to me than the GM.
Yeah, but the GM a lot of times has the owner's ear. They're best friends. They get to fire the coach. Like I know Belichick ran that program. That was like a college sort of setup. In college, coaches have always been the king of their little fiefdom. The actual codified hierarchy at Stanford right now is that Andrew Luck is above the
Right,
coach.
but here's the thing: if the coach, just like the NFL, if a coach starts having success in winning on the field, the coach is always going to be more powerful than the GM.
Hey guys, it was a cool interview, man. What do you want to do? It was a cool interview.
He's
I
got great
stock up.
potential hires lined up.
It was a great interview.
Stock
he
up.
said he yelled ball.
Andrew Luck's glasses.
He's one of
I
us.
agree with you, Brandon's right.
Nation.
We got sidetracked. That's
Yeah.
my fault. Too much. I thought it was too much Stanford to begin with.
Yeah.
Too much glazing for me.
You're on the West Coast. You're in California. You should embrace the rivalry.
I'm in wine country. I am in Sonoma, Small Vines. Today, one of my favorite vineyards on the planet. Shout out Small Vines.
Sounds delicious.
Stock down professional Call of
you're still
Duty
going.
players who don't stream the first tournament of the year. Gotta be better. I'm not calling out anyone in particular, but if you are playing Call of Duty and there are people who want to watch you, probably should stream it. If you are an organization who's trying to get big and claw their way into the scene, you probably should be streaming so we could track your progress. Also stock down those other morning shows. This morning show led off A Block with troubleshooting the Dave camera. No other morning show did that. We're a lot better over here, do things differently. Troubleshooting was immaculate today.
And the Egg Bowl. All right. When we get back here at Wake Up
huge
Barstool.
game.
It is a huge game, dude. I agree. I'm with you.
Definitely
I love
not
the
a
Egg Bowl.
lead like story.
Do your thing.
Okay, coming up, more NFL games to chop up, and we got some Monday Night Football on the docket as well. Welcome back to Wake Up Barstool here on FS1. Thanksgiving week, guys. It's here. Gratitude is in the air. I'm very thankful to be here at Barstool Sports. Very thankful for the opportunity to do this show. It's insane. Dave.
I mean, come on.
What?
But-
What? Was that too real?
I'm
Was
not
that
trying to turn
was
this
that too
into a
sincere?
Disney after school show.
I
Stock
don't-
down.
I'm very thankful for being here. I'll do it. Listen, you want to get thankful? I'll give a real thanks, okay? I'll give a real thanks. I'm a giving thanks guy. When Drake May was called a liar by Stephen A. Smith because he said, Cam Newton was on that other network and on First Take, I demanded an apology from Stephen A. I said, you don't call my quarterback a liar. You don't do that. Stephen A. responded by saying, who is Dave Portnoy to demand an apology from me? I ain't getting an apology demand from me from nobody, especially Dave Portnoy. And then the next breath, what did he do? He apologized. So thank you, Stephen A., for apologizing. I don't care whether you say you didn't, I can't demand it. The main thing is you did it. The main thing is I said, hey, you are going to apologize for calling my quarterback a liar. And he said, no, he's not the man enough, by the way. I was just joking. I'm sorry to Drake May. So apology accepted, and I'm glad we could put this nastiness behind us. I respect Stephen A., and I'm glad he adhered and bent the knee and gave the apology. So I am thankful that war is over.
Brandon, I'm thankful for you too, man. I'm
Why
thankful
don't you-
for the all opportunity you've given me, bringing me in on the unnecessary rough.
Stop. He's right. Stop doing this.
It means a lot.
And I'm just not sure Stephen A's apology was directly to you, Dave. I'm just going to go ahead and say.
I just think it was a very, point A, demand apology. Point B, I won't do an apology. Point 3, apology. They all happen in rapid succession.
Did he even seem like he noticed you at all? It seems like he just said it.
What do you mean? He literally said, who is Dave Portnoy? Demand an apology for me. He ain't getting an apology from me about Drake May. Oh, by the way, I was just kidding about Drake May. I'm sorry about that.
Yeah, it's kind of like the extend Ryan Day thing. we were talking about earlier.
That's another thing.
gotta
Correct.
connect the
Lincoln.
dots.
That's
Gotta
another
connect
thing.
the dots.
Lincoln Riley. For those who didn't see it, there's a clip with a college reporter, and people miss this. A college reporter was like, "Hey, Lincoln, a fan brought Extend Ryan Day sign to game day. Is that insulting that opposing fans
Extend
want
Lincoln
you to
Riley.
stay?" What?
You said extend Ryan Day. The college reporter asked that he brought extend Lincoln Riley signs.
Yeah.
Yes, correct.
And
you think
Then Lincoln Riley, and in the pregame, I go, "That's an homage to me." Lincoln Riley says the dumbest question ever. I go, "That's an homage to me because I had the Extend Ryan Day." You're like, "Oh, that has nothing to do with you." It's like, I'm pretty sure I'm the first one to make that sign go public. And we looked at the guy's profile, literally in the profile, Boston, Stooley. And so I was right again.
You think you're the first person ever to say extend my rival's coach?
On signs at a major venue, yes.
Are you now claiming responsibility for the planes flying around last year
I
with the Extend
financed
Ryan
the
Day?
plane that flew around Columbus with the Extend Ryan Day. I did not fly the plane. I never said I flew the plane.
Is that breaking public news?
It feels like he was taking responsibility for that. Did you have anything to do with that?
With what?
He said he financed the plane.
With the plane that flew around?
I was involved, like I've done in a lot of things at Michigan. I was involved in the financing of the plane.
Sure.
Wow. Breaking news.
Thank goodness for that miracle offensive coordinator.
You thankful for Neuheisel?
Yeah, I am thankful for. Thankful if they actually want to go down that road. Penn State hiring Terry Smith would be hilarious. I'd thank them. I would consider hugging Connor Griffin. I'd be that thankful that Penn State would make that decision and straight up hand Bob Chesney of UCLA, put us back on track. I'm unthankful for the broadcast Saturday night.
There we go.
So tumultuous. It was a funeral for the Rose Bowl. It was brutal to watch. It was assault. It was depressing. The shots of SoFi Stadium. It was literally a funeral. I hated it. The fake field goal. Yes. So what? We have fun. Like what? We have fun.
All right.
I wish your team had fun.
Hold on.
You're
Gotta go to break.
You saying we have fun could live on forever. It didn't look like you have fun.
Dave, we like to have fun. We like to have fun at UCLA.
Wake Up Barstool coming up next. Close out the show.
Extend Lincoln Ryan too. Gonna put me on Blender Saturday.
Hey, he invented the word extend.
Welcome back to Wake Up Barstool. Hope you're having a great day here on this Monday. Monday Night Football tonight. Panthers at Niners. Kind of like we talked about. Niners still probably more alive than what they're being talked about with Purdy returning and how they manage with Mac Jones. They're 7-4.
And when you say alive, you mean Super Bowl contender?
I wouldn't put them in that category, but I could see them getting there potentially. They're on the fringe.
Yeah. So what do you? That's what you.
They
mean
win tonight.
alive.
They're
7-4. They're clearly alive.
I guess you're right. I didn't verbalize it well. I meant in the Super Bowl contender category that we were talking about the NFC teams earlier. I think they're on the edge. If Purdy plays like we've seen him play points in his career, then they could be firmly back in that category.
They got playoff pedigree too.
Yeah, for sure.
Like if they get in, and they're going to get in, like you're going to have to go through them. They're going to be a tough out in the playoffs.
And then the Panthers, the little engine that could. Panthers.
Weirdest team in the league to me. I mean, imagine if they win this game, they go to 7-5. They beat San Francisco. This is to me, this would be a stunning victory from Carolina.
Yeah, it would actually.
They either lose by 100 or they win.
It would put them in first. It would put them in sole possession in this NFC South for the first time since 2016. So a decade. Yes, Liam.
Yeah, Carolina's got the Rams on deck next week too. In Carolina.
Carolina's end of the year schedule looks like it's going to brutalize them. Dave, thank you for waking up on the West Coast. First in, first out. I hope you all have a great day. We'll be back with more Wake Up Barstool tomorrow.